back to Cleburne. So a couple of quick announcements. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible, give you all some of our details. So we're going to go a little bit more public now with our property in the future. So like I've always talked about in the past, how we're going to create a bit of a village here. It's still very, very much the plans now that we've kind of settled our encampment. And I really want to thank you all so much for being with me through all that. I really feel like now that I have paths all around, it's all lit up and it's settled, and the ticks and the chiggers and all of that. So I'm finally settled enough that I can start thinking about the more public part of our property and our projects here. So some things that we're going to be promoting here at Cleburne is nature-based interactive walking paths, because I just feel like walking is one of the most healthiest things that you can do, especially I believe personally out in nature. It just, some kind of forest bathing just sort of cleanses you from the inside out. It clears your head and just brings down your blood pressure and makes you feel amazing, gets all that oxygen going through your lungs and gets all that blood pumping through your body. And I just personally love hiking and interacting with nature, so I'm definitely going to be promoting that, along with lots and lots and lots of little tidbits of information here and there, dotted with our sense of humor, our love of poetry, our love of literature, and our love of music. So you'll hear and see a lot of that all the time as you walk along these paths. Now the paths are going to take you past our strawberries, which is what we're going to mostly produce here on Cleburne, is our strawberries. So we're going to be putting in Ozark Beauty at first and then working our way all the way up to the end of the property. And you can walk past those. It's not going to be a U-pick, however. That's also where the moon shack will be torn down for safety's sake. And don't worry though, the wood and the tin is all going to be reused into other buildings on the property. And then that's also where the moon shack is, because personally, I love astronomy, and anything doing with the moon and the moon's energies. That lunar energy is always something that's been very, very important in my life. And so we're starting off with a very small moon garden, and we hope to expand on that and invite people to interact up there and enjoy that. There will also be a little library here, because like I said, we want to promote music, we want to promote poetry, we want to promote literature. So we're going to have a little library here, and our guests are even invited to write on the walls, as long as they remember kids run around here, and they do have to keep that clean. Someday we would like to host a special needs 10 and under fishing tournament here on the property. We'll see how that works out. We want to have people come and interact with our animals. That includes our bunnies. Who can resist a bunny? You can take them home either for eating or for a pet. Then the chickens, you can always interact with the chickens, and we do sell our fresh eggs. And then you can also walk past the beehives, and we will sell our local honey. So we'll also have a little bit of a general store here where we can sell all of those things. So it's eggs and bunnies and strawberries and crafts, lots and lots and lots of crafts. I love to do crafting, and so now that I've got the little studio set up out at Shaggy's, I can get back into crafting again. Mostly I'm going to stick to Ozark crafts, things like walking sticks and leather binders for your journal, my reusable shopping bags, insect motels, my little Ozarkian macrame hanging tables, things like that, along with our strawberries and honey and eggs. So you can come and you can interact with the bunnies and with the chickens. And eventually we want to have our little church. He calls it a church, I call it a house of tranquility. It's going to be on the other side of our property. The other side of our property is absolutely beautiful with all these creeks back there. And we just haven't had a chance to get back over there and do anything with it. And that's what he's going to be concentrating on mostly, is these paths, these interactive nature-based walking paths that will take you on the other side of the hill, the other side of the pond, where we'll have a big labyrinth where you can walk the big spirals. Have you ever walked one of those spirals? Is it called a labyrinth? It's not a labyrinth. Is it a labyrinth? It's just a big spiral walking path. So we're going to have one of those over there, a personal cemetery, private cemetery, but you can sit and visit too and talk to your loved ones there in spirit. And then the church is completely open door, non-denominational. My husband's ordained Christian. I'll be ordained Universal Life Church, which means basically no judgment, no denomination, open door, completely open door. Go away, WASP. And So it'll be locked up at night, of course, but during the day, people will be invited to come in and sit, either worship or sit in quiet contemplation. It's basically a safe house. So those are some of the things that we want to promote here at Cleburne. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The general store, the interaction with the animals, the nature-based walking paths, the moon garden, the library. Also, eventually I would love to have poetry readings. Now that's not just, it could be your personal poetry. It can be your song lyrics. If you feel like you're a songwriter, I'd love to hear your song lyrics, an excerpt from your favorite book that you think other people would be interested in, or poetry or a poem. Things like that. I would love to host something like that here. I think it would be phenomenal. And we have some friends who are musical, so I don't know about bringing in loud music down here because I don't want to disturb other neighbors, but I would love to hear like songs around the campfire, things like that. So we'll probably be putting in a few huts along the other side of the property, and hopefully maybe someday some ambitious volunteers will show up and say, hey, I'd like to get into butterflies. Butterfly gardens are another thing that I'm going to definitely specialize in here at Cleburne. And someday I'd love to hold classes on putting in butterfly gardens. I really, really want to promote insect awareness and good insects versus ornery insects, things like that. I want to one day make the whole world no longer fear spiders, but love them, because what do spiders eat? Stinging insects that are flying around my head right now. If I had a big old fat mamba jamba spider living in here, I wouldn't have nary a wasp sitting here bothering me at this moment. So anyway, guys, that's kind of where we're going to go. I'm still going to do reviews. I'm still going to do all the same kinds of videos. It's just going to be a little less of the personal side of living here at Cleburne and more towards what our lofty goals are for the future. And I'm so thrilled that you guys are still with us on this journey, and just many, many more fun adventures to come. So stick with us, guys. Love and light. Blessed be.